Hello, special beings. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's an honor to be connecting with you. And I also wanted to thank everyone who subscribed. We just hit 100,000 subscribers yesterday on YouTube. So I feel like that's a pretty big deal. So thank you all for having taken the time to subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And tonight I'm wearing a t-shirt that was made for me, by me. So it wasn't made by me, but someone sent me this, but it's a quote of mine. Neutrality is the ultimate hall of mirrors. It's the first time I wear it. So yeah, I was feeling a black mood tonight, like a black t-shirt, and I'm in that mode lately. So I'm very, very pleased to be connecting with you guys tonight. I've been getting very strong messages today, and I'm going to be sharing those with you. So let's give it maybe one more minute and then we'll begin, because I see we already have about 600 people in the house. Let's give it one more minute before the train leaves the station. All right. So we are going to begin, my friends. So I got a really strong message today that there are a lot of people right now who are caught in the web of the astral plane. The astral plane can be viewed as a trapping system. And I asked my guys to specify, can you give me a very practical description for the astral plane? And they said to me, it is a realm that links into your thoughts and your emotions. And they said it's the unintegrated plane. And I thought that was so powerful. I just got this like half an hour ago. That's what prompted me to jump on and go live with you guys. Thank you for the donations, by the way. I appreciate you. The guide said to me that the astral plane is the unintegrated dimension. So whenever you have emotions, thoughts, unprocessed traumas, unresolved issues, wounds that you never really addressed in your life, that will directly link you into the astral realm. And so what the guides were saying to me tonight is that the universe is always, always working overtime to coordinate, to calculate, and to orchestrate things that would be your highest timeline. Relationships, opportunities, new connections. But what happens so often is that we're so caught up in the astral plane that our brain is fogged up or it's clouded. So an example of this would be, say that you are unable to get over your ex and you keep turning your wheels, like, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to make this work? And you're trying to be all strategic about it. That entire time, you're just adding to the smoke or to the fogginess in your brain. And what you want to do is part that fog. How do you part the fog? Well, you have to start connecting to your intuition and to your heart. Because here's the thing, the astral plane is connected to your mental body. So if your mental body is all scattered or it's all noisy up here, and you keep dipping back into that old pool, that swampy water, or into that muddy water, then you're only plateauing at the astral plane. And the thing is, the universe is always making an attempt to get you to the right place at the right time. Always. It's always trying to get you to synchronize with your higher self so that you can become a magnet to your heart's desires. And so I'll give you a very simple example of this. Let's say that you're meant to meet the love of your life at the Whole Foods or at the Trader Joe's, at the grocery store, whatever your local grocery store is. And your universe is supposed to impulse you or send you some sort of a notification. Hey, you should go to the grocery store right now. If you're caught up and preoccupied with all these thoughts around your ex or any thought that's connected to your loneliness or to your boredom or to your depression or to your anger or to your frustration or to I'm not where I want to be yet in my life, well, you're actually going to miss that message that's being delivered to you in your mind. I think of it as an airdrop system. You know how on your iPhone you have like an airdrop, you're airdropping photos into your friend's phone? Your guides work that way. They send you these impulses. They want to drop information in your mind. And usually it's very clear. It's not distorted. It's not noisy. It's very clear. And you just roll with it. You don't question it. But what we do is we get in our own way sometimes by getting caught up in these stories that we've concocted over time that are keeping us in a state of disempowerment. They're keeping us in a state of disempowerment. So I want you to think about it like this. Your universe not only has to get in touch with you and dial you up, call you up, it also has to dial up the person you're meant to be with. So now it's working with two humans who are each preoccupied or not. Maybe one of them is meditating and one of them heard the call and the other isn't meditating and didn't hear the call. And so it has to gather all of these forces and pull all these forces together so that it can make this moment that's serendipitous happen for you and for the other person. So the reason why I'm using that relationship example is because it's very relatable and it's something that you can really recognize as perhaps being in line with what you desire in your life. But what we do is that we are constantly ruminating on all of these past events or all these future probabilities. And rather than practicing present moment awareness, where we drown out the noise of all of that riffraff, of all those distortions, of all the stuff that fogs up your lens, your inner lens, what we do is we keep dabbling in those realities. And this is what the guide said to me tonight, which I love. They said that whenever you do that, whenever you backpedal and you start to rehatch or repatch or rehash old things, you're really just having a trauma response. You're having a trauma response. So think of it like this. You have a disempowered state, which has to do with thinking that you're not where you need to be or where you're not intended to be right now. And so anytime you're not in alignment with your present moment, you're just fabricating all these narratives that are born from a place of boredom, lack, fear, anxiety, worry, that you may never meet the love of your life or that you may never find your purpose. So whenever you're not present and you're wobbled out of your own alignment, every decision that you make is going to be from a place of misalignment. Every single decision that you make is going to be out of sync as opposed to being in sync. So what you end up doing is you keep volunteering your power away to these old piles of energy, or you could say to these old, outdated realities. And the realities aren't the issue per se. What it is that you kind of left an imprint in there that was connected to your disempowerment, and you keep endowing that disempowered imprint with your energy. You keep endowing it with power. So rather than re-empowering yourself, you keep disempowering yourself. Thank you for the donation, Michael. I really appreciate it. And Stella. So rather than doing that, you're basically just operating from a place of misalignment. All right. And my guides have been saying this to me as well. It's like, what do you think you're deserving of? And are your actions in keeping with what you truly think you're deserving of? Because if they're not, you're never going to attract what you're deserving of. You're always going to be acting on your lack of self-value, on your lack of self-worth, and you're always going to dabble in lack-based realities. So think of the astral plane as being like a trapping system. It will feed off of your lower vibrational emotions and your thoughts that have yet to be integrated. So an example, you're thinking about your ex, what you could have done differently, or maybe you're in that state where you're feeling very alone tonight and you want to reach out. These are all thoughts that are trying to suck you in. They're trying to pull on your power. They're trying to pull at your heartstrings to convince you that it's going to be different this time, when in actuality, it's going to be the same old song and the same old dance, because you're not shifting your patterning. You're not uninstalling that malware that keeps infecting you. And it does infect you. So our guys right now are asking us, are you going to feed the good wolf or the bad wolf? Are you going to feed your next reality, your future reality that's founded on love, on self-worth, on self-value, on knowing that you're deserving of the best of the best of the best and that you never deserve less than the best? Or are you going to keep feeding into this pile of everything that's reminiscent of your past? That's what they're asking you. You see? So I just want to encourage you tonight to really practice present moment awareness. Are you being present when you're entertaining all these and contemplating all these different moves you can make on the chessboard? Or are you efforting too much? Because I promise you, if you have to pick up your phone and text people, you're still efforting too much. Too much. It's kind of like when we have an issue with a friend and we keep harping on that issue. So we're never able to move past the issue because we're not showing up as that higher version of who we are. We're always harping on the same old issue. It's kind of like this. Let's say that you're married to a man, or you have a family member, and you keep trying to show them that you're spiritual. As long as you keep trying to show them that you're spiritual, they're not able to see you as anything other than seeking approval. They're not able to see you as someone that is spiritual because you keep trying to get them on board with the fact that you're spiritual. So what's happening is you keep participating in that older reality of seeking validation and seeking approval, which is a disempowered state, as opposed to becoming the evidence of your spirituality. Can you start to become the personification of this non-physical energy that dwells at a very high frequency? Can you start becoming the personified version of that higher frequency without trying to get people on board? That would be you actually doing the legwork to integrate this part of you and to take the funding away from that older reality and reinvest that energy or repurpose the energy to that new reality, to that next reality. And this came up for me yesterday as well. My guys were saying that, and you're gonna like this. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna share this with you. But they were saying that we always have a choice. Are we gonna step up vibrationally or are we gonna step down vibrationally? So think of it as a staircase, and the upward staircase is crystalline, and the downwards staircase is carbon. That's just coming to me now. I love that. So you have this crystalline staircase that's trying to take you to this higher aspect of who you are, your angelic aspect, the aspect of you that never wastes oxygen or spends time texting people, because the higher aspect overrides the lower aspects and will always attract to you what you want if you just get out of its way. If you just get out of its way, this higher aspect, which is a higher intelligence, knows you better than you know yourself, and it wants to work miracles for you, but you have to learn how to brush your ego aside. You have to learn how to set yourself aside. So are you going to climb up this crystalline staircase, or are you always going to dip back down and downstep into those lower vibrations, i.e. your past? You know, when we are spiritually awakened, we want people to come with us. We want to give them a piggyback ride to where we're headed. But the truth of the matter is people have to go through what they have to go through. And they have to go through their respective experiences. And if you try to fast forward that process for them, they're not going to accumulate the wisdom that's needed for the next chapter in their journey. So we all had to do that. We were all defiant. We were all rebellious. We didn't listen to authorities. So if you're trying to be an authority in someone's life and you're saying, come on, come on, come on, you need to board the train of this ascension, they're going to rebel against you. So if anything, you're going to deprive them of enlightening themselves. You're going to put a bad taste in their mouth, a sour taste in their mouth, because you're imposing your ways on them. You're shoving how you want them to behave in their throat, down their throat, and they're going to be off put by that. They're going to start to have a disdain for how you operate in your life, what your approaches are, how you walk your path. So here's the thing, and this is what came to me yesterday. Because I understand this notion of wanting to bring people with you. I get it. When you're awakened, you don't polarize as easily. So you're operating within a non-duality reality. You're non-dualistic in your approach. So you love people unconditionally. And I understand that wholeheartedly. But here's the thing. If ever you are still playing small, meaning you are still shrinking yourself down to appease other people or to try to bring them with you, it's never going to work in your favor. It's never going to work in your favor. Why is that? Because, number one, their process has a divine timing, and you can't speed that up for them. Okay? Number two, because your higher self is trying to get you to acclimate to that higher aspect of your light, which is at the top of that crystalline staircase, and you keep separating off from that higher aspect to try to bring people with you, when this higher aspect is saying, hey, stop separating off from me, you need to come with me, and you keep ignoring that aspect of who you are, you keep denying that higher version of your light, and you're creating separation within your own field because you're not up-leveling yourself into that higher staircase level. So rather than looking up and ascending yourself into higher states, you're looking down and you're like, I'm going to go grab people and hope that they come with me. And I'm going to give them a piggyback ride. And not the right approach. So what the guide said to me yesterday is, if you're psychically, all right, because I'm a communicator, I love to communicate. But here's the thing. I've tried many times to see where someone's at now. Like, ooh, they weren't ready last time. Maybe I'll try to communicate with them this time. And every time I do that, it never works in my favor, ever. You know why? Because if you have to ask yourself how someone will respond to you this time, if you have to ask yourself how they're going to receive what you bring up this time, that's a red flag. It means you're interacting with the astral plane psychically. And the higher plane is saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It's not going to work out in your favor. All right? It's not going to work out in your favor. And you refuse to listen to the higher self and to the higher aspects of who you are. And you're like, I'll just make my attempt. I'll try again. And before you know it, it bounces back to you. You guys get in an argument and nothing works your way. That's how it works. The reason why it won't work is because you're being very stubborn. I do this too. And you're so dead set on bringing people with you, and those people are not going to come with you. You have a right to live the life that you want, where you don't have to shrink down anymore. And that's what your guys are trying to show you. They're trying to show you, hey, you're spending way too much energy thinking about this last person, thinking about your ex, trying to communicate with this friend when they don't have the tools. You're spending way too much energy. And if you want to start adapting to that fifth dimensional frequency, first you have to recognize that in the fifth dimension, you don't have to do much. You just have to be a conduit. You just have to be a conduit for that higher energy to flow through you and create worlds for you. But if you don't do that, meaning if you don't acclimate yourself to that fifth dimensional frequency, and you're always dabbling in the fourth and third dimensions, what you do is you become the very person who, it's almost like it's a contradictory energy, because you say you want to manifest, right? But then you take all these actions that require so much effort. So your guides right now are asking you to let go of the relationships, and don't think about the relationships tangibly. Think of let go of these energies where you're seeking approval, where you want people to see you, where you want people to be on your same level. Let go of all of that. It's toxic. And every time you energize those by participating in those, it's going to be a setback for you. It's going to decelerate your own ascension process. It's going to slow you down. And I know this can be really tough, but remember, there is so much trauma that we've all endured. So, understandably, we're going to have that propensity to go backwards and try to work things out with people who don't know how to work things out, who don't know how to bring reconciliation and resolution to things. Do you see what I mean? So if ever you start to think in your mind, like you're like, I think I'm going to try talking to this person this time. Maybe they'll be more open today. Maybe they'll be more, that's a delusion. And the fact that you're having that back and forth in your mind, in that dialogue, indicates that you're already in warfare. And that warfare mentally is a foreshadow of the warfare that's about to happen physically, meaning the argument that's about to ensue, or this conflict that you're about to have with this person, because they're not in a position to hear you yet. And when you do that, the coast isn't clear. So the universe isn't giving you the green light. The universe is saying, hey, if you keep going back and forth and it's a ping pong match in your mind, then that's duality. I love that. That's duality. But when you're dealing with a fifth dimensional being, you won't have that noise in your mind, because that person has the conscious tools to be able to navigate a relationship effectively. And this isn't limited to just relationships. This is also your jobs. If you're thinking about launching a business and you're like, I still have resistance, I'm still not sure, don't do it. Because that's not the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is effortless. The fifth dimension is smooth sailing. It's not always going to be smooth sailing emotionally. That's because there are energies you have to integrate to further move into the higher dimensions. So it's going to be work emotionally. That's never going to stop. Emotionally, energetically. But in terms of the physical, you're going to be sourcing effortlessly, because you're choosing to reside within a frequency domain that is vibrational in essence and not material in essence. And so if you lock that in and you say, my base frequency is vibrational and everything in my physical world has no choice but to conform to that, that's what you will have. Whereas if your base frequency is, I'm going to effort, work from 9 to 9, I'm going to go, that's what you're going to get. You're going to be asked to take a lot of physical action, which takes a lot of time, which takes a lot of effort, and then you'll have no time to meditate. So I say choose the first approach, option A. I'm going to work in concert with my emotions, with my energies, to integrate myself into that higher dimension, to acclimate and adapt to the higher dimension. And that might be a little harder because I can't run from my shadow. I have to face my shadow dead on and not be afraid of my shadow. But the reward is going to be that my life is going to be so much more fulfilling because I'm not chasing anything in the physical anymore. And then you'll be more open to receiving those intuitive impulses or those intuitive hits from the universe that is trying to coordinate, calculate, and orchestrate something magnificent for you. You won't be caught up in your phone like, oh, should I text this person? And the whole time your universe is like, hello, I'm trying to get you to the grocery store so you can meet the love of your life. You're going to be eliminating and sanitizing yourself from within to where you can receive those airdrops properly. You see what I mean? But I think so often we get tied up in this fourth dimensional construct and third dimensional construct because we think we're not deserving of something better. I want to tell you something right now. Your right partner, the person you end up with, if you haven't already, is going to be there. If you have something to talk about, they're going to listen to you attentively. They're going to listen to you receptively. I went on a date last week and I was honest enough to say to this person, I really care about you as a person and I'd love to have you in my life as a friend. They didn't respond at all. They basically ghosted me. And it was a very heartwarming, heartfelt message. And it's okay that I messaged them. But the thing is, my guides are like, Phil, this person isn't even remotely close to being at your level. Someone who's on your level will say, hey, Phil, I appreciate you, but I'm not interested in a friendship right now. But thank you. Thank you for extending that, but I'm not interested in that. That's conscious because at least that person is honoring their own sovereignty. They're honoring their truth. They're willing to speak their truth. So I had this massive epiphany this week where I was like, I'm so tired of trying to get people to board a train of consciousness when they're still unconscious. I'm done. I can connect to my true partner in my heart, and I don't have to do anything else. It's not going to feel like you're pulling teeth all the time, right? So what you want to do right now is drown out the noise of the external, of everything that you've ever encountered, everything that you've ever been intimately involved with, everything that you've been intimately engaged with. You want to release all of that because those are old formats of your reality that you're not taking with you. They need to stay in the old. And I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the energies, these energies of disempowerment that keep sucking you in, and you take the bait, you fall hook, line, and sinker for them, and then you keep disempowering yourself. How can the universe deliver the goods? How can the universe deliver a brand new reality if your actions aren't in line with who you're becoming? Ooh, that was really good. How can the universe deliver the goods if your actions are not in line with who you're becoming and who you're wanting to become and how you're wanting to feel? Do you want to feel like you're in a relationship where you're always trying to get your partner to listen? Do you want to be in a friendship where you always have to wonder, are they open for this now? Then why not start integrating that higher energy now of this isn't what I want. I want ease. I want peace. I want harmony. I want to be understood. I want to be supported. I want to support. I don't want it to be all this pulling teeth to get people on my page. You're shrinking yourself down tremendously, tremendously. Look, I understand that we've all been through a lot of trauma in our lives. But I assure you that every time you take an action that reminds you of who you used to be, that's just you repeating an old pattern. That's a trauma response. It's a trauma response. Why don't they see me? Why can't they hear me? Why is it that everything I share falls on deaf ears? Why is it that they can't acknowledge the light that I am? The true partner will, my friends. So you need to start valuing yourself more and know that you're never, ever deserving of less than the best. You're never deserving of less than the best. You deserve the best. The best. You need people who are going to meet you at your caliber and drop the rest. Ooh, that rhymed. The whole thing rhymed. Drop the rest. All right? So thank you guys for your donations. Thank you, JS. Thank you to everyone who took the time to subscribe. And if you'd like to donate, I really appreciate it because I'm mainly just doing YouTube now and Instagram Live. That's it. I haven't been taking as many sessions. So if you'd like to donate, my donation link is feelgoodlife.com/donate, feelgoodlife.com/donate. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me. I'll talk to you soon. Yay, neutrality is the ultimate hall of mirrors. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.